Okay, good morning, everybody. Manish here, talking to you for Impact 24 by 7 podcast. And I am so excited today. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to someone really special today. Okay, he is a TED speaker. Okay, that itself is a dream for so many people. All right, he is an author, that too not an author who self-published. He's an author who wrote a book along with Jack Canfield, the Chicken Soup for the Soul fame. He is a global conference speaker. He's a coach. He is a public speaker and travels the world sharing his message, sharing his philosophy, and inspiring people to really have a life of excellence. So, let me introduce you to Mr. Rohit ROI Bassi. Hi, Rohit. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Manish. Thank you for having me on this show.
Pleasure's all mine. Pleasure's all mine. And I'm so excited, okay, to hear from you. One thing that intrigues me about you is that your name says Mr. Rohit ROI Bassi. Is it Roy Bassi or is it because you talk on ROI, return on investment, wherever you go?
Okay, so there's two sides to it. If you look at it from a business perspective, people understand what ROI is, return on investment. Now, it doesn't start over there for me. At home, I'm called Roy, ROI Roy. So, this was last year, I was sitting down and saying, look, I need to look at how I'm branded. And I realized, hold on a minute, my name is return on investment at home, ROI. So I might as well use it with the way I do with the way I brand myself and the way I talk to people and make people realize that ROI is not just that final number, because that's what people look at is that ROI, what's the number? But everyone forgets to get to that ROI. There's a lot of blood, sweat, experience, failures happening in the background.
Right.
But people just look at that ROI. So my whole concept is about, yes, we need that ROI. But what about everything else at the back which makes you get that ROI? So that's how it all came up.
Amazing. And I'm sure it has helped in branding, it has helped in creating an image around you.
It certainly has assisted. Some of my friends still like the old branding I had.
Yeah.
And they tend to have this disagreement with me, which I say, look, I'm happy with this. I'm being very honest. This is what it is. So that's what I'm going to do. Keep doing.
Awesome. Awesome. Tell me something about TED Talk. All right. I have spoken in front of audiences and I have always aspired one day to be on a TED stage, and to see you go up on TED stage and talk, it was amazing. How was the experience? How did you land up getting there?
That's a very interesting story. About over 8 years ago, I had a student come to my workshop, and I used to do a workshop, and I still do that. And some of my work is framed around that. It's called "Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways," a book by Dr. Susan Jeffers. And she'd come to the workshop. I didn't realize she was going through a lot of problems in her personal life. 6 months later, she contacted me and she said, "Thank you very much." I said, "Why?" She said to me, "Since I've been to your workshop, I've been able to move forward with my life. There's certain personal aspects which she was not happy at all with, which was causing a lot of pain. She was not happy at work. She was not happy in her relationship. She was not happy with her family doings as well. And she managed to pass through those issues and was brighter, shining, much bolder. One of the most amazing things was she was very concerned about her weight. She came and saw me for a talk, and she comes up to me after the talk and said, "Hi, Rohit." I'm like, "Hi." I didn't recognize her. She had literally trimmed down, and all she had to say is "thank you" to you. I remember certain times through the years, and still I haven't done the TED Talk at this moment. And she would, on occasion, message me and say, "You inspire me." I'm like, "Well," and she said, "You inspire me. I want to be like you." I was like, "Okay," So it was like overwhelming for me when she was saying that to me. 2018 is when I did the TEDx talk, and I recall in 2017. This is December time. This is literally around Christmas. She messages me and says, "Would you like to be on the TED stage?" And
wow,
I was like, Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I want to be on TED. Wait, when? She go, hold on, hold on, hold on. You just can't be on the TED stage. At the place where I am, we are doing a TEDx.
CCQ. Where was that?
This was in Qatar.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll talk about that experience in a minute. So I still remember she's saying you need to fill this application form, and there's no guarantee that you will get the talk, but I want you to fill in the application form. Because I know people in there, at least I can help you get the application form somewhere. Or I'll do my best. Again, I can't guarantee anything that they'll even look at your application form. I gave the application form, and it was meant to happen in February 2018, and now it's in 2017 December. They were meant to make a decision in January, first week of January. Second week of January, no response. I message her. She says there's been some delays. And then 2nd of Feb, which is my birthday, I open up my email at about 4:30, 5:30, and I get a message that my talk has been approved.
Amazing.
And it was now moved to March. And it was very,
like next
very
month.
Yeah, next month. So it's February 2nd, and then in March I had to do the talk. It was really strange just getting from Dubai to Qatar, door to door, approximately 9 hours, which it really shouldn't take with the
issues that were
going on. But still, going there, people said, "You're going to go to Qatar?" And I said, "Yeah, it's. I want to do this."
Huh?
They said, "Are you getting paid?" I said, "No, you don't get paid for TED.
Yeah.
You don't get paid for TED. It's a platform where you share an idea. Even if one person listens to it, it's great.
And it adds to your credibility immensely."
Absolutely. So it's and TED has this thing which I've picked up recently is they don't like professional speakers to come on there. They want people from the public.
The genuine stories.
Yeah. So I was very surprised they got me on there. And last year I joined a speakers association. It's global, but I joined the chapter in Singapore, and I realized from there that a lot of the so-called professional speakers, they have not been on a TED talk.
And they aspire to be there.
And they aspire to be there. And a number of them started asking me, "How did you do it? How did you get there?" It's only because of the seeds which I sowed 7 years ago and over 8 years ago with this lady saying, helping her out or serving her. And I never knew this was going to happen. The universe just sent it to me out of nowhere.
Amazing.
That's how it happened.
And these things can't be worked on many a time. You just got to add value, I believe, till something comes back tenfold.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. Over 8 years ago, and she messages me, the lady, "Thank you for your help through the years." And then suddenly she says, "Would you like to come on a TED stage?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "I'll jump now. I don't care."
Anywhere in the world.
I was in Vietnam at the moment. I said, "I'll leave now." She said, No, you don't. You have to wait. So that was very, very interesting. So when I did after I'd done the talk, so I did my talk on the miracle of compassion.
Right.
And a number of business people, a number of professional speakers, I asked them to listen to the talk. I found it very strange when they came back to me and they said, "Are you stupid to do a talk on compassion? No one cares about compassion. And why won't you,
This is after the talk.
Yeah.
Really?
So I was
at the venue itself.
This is not at the venue. This is after the recording. People saw the recording. This is in Dubai, in the UK, in Singapore, different places where I know people through my business or through the
your
network,
circle,
my circle. So I was very surprised that people thought compassion is a stupid thing. Their reaction was, no one cares about compassion. It's all wishy-washy. So it came. It wasn't. I wasn't surprised. It was just like, wow, compassion is a foundation of humans. Yeah, this without compassion, we would not have the existence which we have now. People talk about survival of the fittest. I think it's more of compassion, which is kindness, and through kindness we take care of each other, and that's how we evolve as humans.
And it is possible to balance going after success and compassion together.
I strongly feel it is. It's been proven as well. So when you listen to my talk, the TED talk, you will see in there I've got shown evidence that it is possible. You don't have to be ruthless. It's a simple thing, you know. Let's put it in a different, slightly explain it different. One of the closest relationships most people have is with their mother.
Mm.
Your mother does things for you.
Mm.
There is love, but there's a lot of compassion involved in it.
Right.
And you can never measure that. Now, bring that to the business level. An example of this, for example, is there's an employee who's not doing great at your work. You help them, you coach them, you show them what can possible, and they're still not doing what they are performing for whatever reason it is. But you have assisted them as much as you can. Now, this is the compassion part where it comes from a business perspective is, you know it's not helping the business. You know it's not helping the team around you. So what do? You have to ask that person to leave the organization because you've given them that support. They just are not able fitting in. It's not the right place for them to be. Maybe they're better for something else. So this is where you have to show the compassion towards the team, the organization, yourself, and that individual.
This is where compassionate leadership comes in.
Absolutely. So and in the way you deal with them when you ask them to leave is not like get lost. You help them pass through that. Even to the point, if you look at it from a leadership perspective, is okay. Show me your CV. I'm going to help you redo your CV. And I'm going to
maybe put in a word for you.
Exactly. You will see most businesses are not interested in doing that. We don't have the time. They have their own responsibility. They have to do it themselves.
So when a person lands up leading his life, balancing compassion at the same time success, all right, do you believe that it creates a certain energy aura around him to only make him grow further and expand further as a human being? Do you believe in that concept of energy that an organization or a group of people create if they were living from compassion?
Okay. So you use the word belief. I would say it's the knowing. I know the sun is going to rise. I know the sun is going to set down. I know it will rain sometimes. So there's a knowing. I don't need proof.
Okay.
And so, yes, there is an energy, whole concept of energy. So people talk about high vibration, low vibration in terms of energy. Some people think, well, a number think it's all wishy-washy. You look at everything is energy. This table has a certain amount of energy. This mic, you and me. And you resonate. Some energies you cannot resonate because you're not maybe on the same level.
Right.
And some you do. Look at the connection between you and I. You sent me an email, then you connected with me over the phone.
Right.
Within 2 weeks, we're doing this.
Right.
I have had talks with other people. We're going for years and nothing happens. So there must be some kind of energy between you and me. There's a connection.
Sure.
We're resonating at certain level.
And that's where things are moving.
Absolutely. Otherwise, they will not move. And this is where, when we go into that frame of, when we get rejected, we have resentments, we have regrets, is because its energies are not meeting up together. You start reading about neuroscience, and there's a lot of data, and this is just on the surface. There are approximately, at this moment in time, you and me are talking, approximately 11 million memories, data, information happening in the unconscious or subconscious mind. That's 11 million. Consciously, at this moment, there's only about 15 bits.
Okay.
So
it's like the metaphysics concept where you're just seeing 1% of what is happening, but 99% is not visible to you.
Absolutely. even though we are living this life, it's conscious over here, but most of it's happening somewhere else in us. Data memories are running in us, and consciously we have to do our best, as you've heard me sometimes say, clean our BS. Belief systems audience.
This audience is okay. You can say BS also means clean up your bullshit.
Thank you, Manish.
This audience is a matured one, so we don't have to sanitize, I'm sure. But so you believe in that, and you also spoke in one of your talks about hopono.
So I'll pronounce
Yeah,
this.
please.
Ho'oponopono. It's Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about this? What I remember Joe Vitale talking about him, talking about this in one of his books. He wrote a book also
Yes,
around it. I've
Zero
not read
Limit.
the book. Yeah, but yeah, why is it important to you that you talk about it when you go up on stage? Like, if you can just throw some light on it.
So before Joe Vitale started talking about Ho'oponopono, again, this was about 8 or 9 years ago. I didn't even know the existence of Joe Vitale, but I was looking at something called theta healing, and this Ho'oponopono came on the way. And it was something which Dr. Hugh Lin trained Joe Vitale in it. And before that, there was another student of his called Mabel Katz. And there are many other students as well. She also, I heard it through that. And then obviously Joe Vitale, recently I started hearing about him. Now, this thing which I spoke about, the 11 million bits information data running, is something I picked up from Dr. Hewlin. Now, he picked it up even further from I can't remember the author's name. I think it's called The User's Illusion. There's a book called The User's Illusion, and it talks about how we think, which we are doing, which we were discussing before, about the Tao, that we think we're doing, but we're being done.
Right.
Things are happening through us, and there's certain things, yes, we're aware of. 15 bits of information. What about all the other millions of other information happening over there? Now, Ho'oponopono comes from Hawaii, and its focus is about everything which we do, or everything which is happening in our lives, is created by us, which is very strange, because it goes to the concept of saying, which is very difficult to grasp, because logically, of the way we've been programmed and conditioned from a young age, it just doesn't make sense. To the fact, you have come into my life, or I've come into your existence, because we created it somehow or the other.
Right.
Now, while we're doing it, there's certain incidences which we just don't like.
Right.
So-called the problems, the difficulties, and so forth. Those we have created ourselves as well. So we need to clean it up. Joe Vitale talks about 4 statements, and the 4 statements are simply...
Which allow you to clean it up.
Yeah.
Which allow you to be in a particular state.
Yes. So you spoke about not having ego or judgment.
Right.
That's where it allows you to go. Clean it.
Okay.
Have a white screen, blank screen, so you can get inspired to do whatever you need to do.
Okay.
Take whatever actions you need to do. So Joe Vitale talks about 4 particular statements which come from Ho'oponopono. The first one is, I love you. Now people say, why would I want to say? You're not saying it to anyone. You're saying it to what's happening in you. Then you go on to say, please forgive me. Please forgive me comes to the point where, when you're having those so-called words which we define as negative, those words which we define as being depressing. To those, I'm saying, please forgive me. I didn't realize all of this was happening in me. All these feelings were happening with me. And then you say, thank you meaning, thank you for showing this to me to do something about it.
This is you talking to yourself.
Yeah, this is it. And then, you basically, you go through this process, and you start realizing a number of things. So it starts, say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. 4 statements. Now, when you listen to Mabel Katz, who originally started after she asked permission from Dr. Hewlin that she wants to go around, tell people about it. She was taught on, and from what I've heard from her interviews, is she was taught thank you is more than enough. So something happens. Let's say I slap you. Okay. The reaction could be you'll beat the hell out of me.
Yeah.
What they say is you just need to say thank you. Because
Thank you for it happening.
It's for happening because I must have done something or this must be a trigger which created this. Now, this is far-fetched. Sometimes I can't even grasp at it, but people...
Because in that moment, heat of the moment...
Exactly. And this is where if you look at it from a brain perspective, if I slap you, your automatic reaction is the reptile brain is going to either defend or attack.
Right.
Yeah? Now, this is saying, get your conscious to realize, stop. That's what it's doing. Now, this is just the 4 statements in Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. If something great happens, you don't have to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. You can just say, thank you, I love you for that to happen.
Right.
Raises the vibration. It's about raising that energy level.
And if you do that daily, the reptile brain slowly becomes ineffective.
It calms down. See, we need the reptile brain as well because reptile brain helps us survive. So our heart beating, our breathing, whatever's happening or danger happening, the reptile brain is looking after that.
Right.
We need that. But it's those moments where the reptile brain can get...
which could harm you.
Exactly, harm you and someone else. So to keep it calm. So people could define it, it's a kind of mindfulness or meditation.
Right.
It's entirely up to you. You can label it oranges, pears, it doesn't matter. Whatever you can relate to. So for example, you asked me the question, how would you like to be introduced? And I'm sure you looked at my answer and said, this guy's a bit of a weirdo. People label each other unnecessarily, but we're not labels. So if I was to put a label on myself, I'll just say, call me compassionate, that's it. Yeah? So again, we can label things, but when you start going into this realm of looking at energy, be it Ho'oponopono, be it mindfulness, meditation, there's another doctor who's taught me, who's based in Dubai, Dr. Segu Ramesh. We do something called the solution.
Okay.
And again, it's all about, we got too much thoughts going on. There's 11 million things.
Like the garbage.
The garbage, calm down. Unless you're not calm down, unless you're not grounded, you won't be able to...
You'll never be fulfilled.
Actually, you won't be fulfilled and you won't be able to be productive in your existence. So when you look at the solution, and I take elements from this into the workshops or the talks which I do, which are in the corporate world, and I blend it in so that they could have a better understanding of what's going on. So I teach people to become better speakers, for example.
Okay.
And I take things from, let's say, the solution. While you're performing, while you're in front of the people and a fear sets in you or you get scared, what's the quickest way to ground yourself? Now, you can't go in there and say, hold on 1 minute, audience. You can't. So there's other ways to do it.
Okay.
And that's what I show them, and they see it. I've had people, certain directors who have coached, and this is across some of the big organizations over here in Dubai. And they come to me for a simple reason. They're great. Their charisma is amazing.
Right. And performers and achievers.
But why are they coming to me? Because I'm able to assist them, serve them in becoming better at becoming a speaker, handling meetings better, or handling those conflict situations together.
Right.
So I show them from a scientific perspective, behavior perspective, and from a inner perspective, how to manage yourself better, how to be grounded in those situations.
And Ho'oponopono is one tool which if someone does on a daily basis, it makes him
absolutely
a wholesome...
There's so many different tools. So you spoke about health.
Right.
Health is a tool as well.
Right.
Yeah. If you're not going to take care of your health,
right,
something's wrong's going to bound to happen to you. So take care of your health. Simple. Are you drinking plenty of water? They're small things.
Sure.
They're all
but taken for granted.
But taken for granted. It's if you look at it, if you look at any of the ancient wisdom,
And not sweetened water, flavored water, strawberry
simple,
flavored
straight,
water.
exactly. You know,
In being in Dubai, you see so many fads, strawberry flavored water and whatnot.
yeah. And like, for example, you've got the vegan fad going on.
Mm,
How long will it last? I don't know. But being a vegan, for some people it's great. For some people it's not
Right.
great. Some people don't understand the concept. Some say it's total BS.
right.
You do whatever works for you.
So, what works for you? So, for you to move around the world, travel, speak, engagements, corporate assignments. So, can you share with me few things you do on a daily basis, all right, which is keeping your health in check in terms of the food you eat? If I was to ask you, all right, what is it that what is the kind of food that you prefer to eat and prefer to avoid completely?
So I tend to go through these phases, and my health-wise, I always mess up. I go through these phases where I'm really, I get on my bicycle, I go for my bike ride. I will eat stuff which is unhealthy, but it will be in a very limit, so I can just get the taste of it, savor it. And then there are times I completely go off the
Unleashed.
and so at the moment I put on weight, and I know why it is. So my inside I'm saying, Rohit, come on. You gotta. What are you doing? Yeah. So I'm not making myself feel. Before I used to make myself feel guilty. Now I'm saying, guilt's not going to work because you're going to go through the same process.
Right.
You gotta find a lifestyle which is suitable to the way you do things.
Right.
That's what it. So for me, a simple thing is drinking plenty of water.
Okay.
Yeah. Even if you're not exercising, at least get 20 minutes of walk.
And you do that daily, is it?
I tend to do my best to do that. If not walking, I just
Move
move around in my garden, or just go down the road. Just some kind of movement is very important.
Okay.
Increase the number of vegetables and fruits in your diet. I'm a vegetarian.
Right.
So I used to be a meat eater at one time, but I stopped. I just don't feel comfortable eating meat anymore. It just didn't feel right for me.
Same for me. I stopped non-veg in Jan.
Everyone
4
has
months
their...
I've been vegetarian. Yeah.
Some people say, "Oh, it's for religious reasons." It's for... Okay, you want to call it religious? You want to call it... I just didn't feel like it. Why do you have to label it? I just didn't feel like it. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
But for vegetarians, one thing always comes up. Protein intake is options are lesser. So what is your protein go to? Like, do you have protein go to? Do you look at food that way, that I gotta have decent amount of protein also?
I do look at
I'm asking this purely because the Impact 24/7 podcast audiences would also love to hear the food, the routines. That's why I'm asking you this.
From a food perspective, is I've got some crazy health freaks in my family. So they know I'm very... They think I'm very stubborn because I don't even take protein powder.
Okay.
So they basically say, okay, these are the vegetables and fruits. You need to have a lot of those in your diet.
Okay.
And that's what I do. If you look at now, even some of the protein powders, which are they're plant-based now.
Right.
Which are coming out. So then you have these weight trainers or weightlifters or the showmen who... you're hearing, a number of them are vegetarians.
Yes.
Where are they getting their protein? And a number of them are not taking powder.
Right.
So even animals, they have plants.
Yeah.
So even this is interesting. I went to a yoga session many years ago, and the guy said, notice when a lion goes and attacks its prey, the first thing is it opens the stomach. Why? Because these animals, they eat a lot of vegetation. They want to first eat the vegetation from the stomach.
Wow, I've never heard that.
So I was like, wow. So next time you notice that, and I noticed that in a lot of the documentaries, that's what they're doing. And then they'll start eating the rest of whatever is required, but they need that.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's industries out there who want to make their money from X, Y, and Z.
Right, and they're programming you in a certain way.
They're programming you, conditioning you in a certain way. What my teacher, Dr. Seguramesh, always said is, seek your own truth. You know from your experience what works for you, what doesn't work for you. We all are unique. We all are part of one source, but at the same time, we're unique.
Right.
We have certain talents or the certain way we're formed. So it's all trial and error.
So you know when you land up doing the trial and error, or you seek your truth, even when food comes, do you go by intuition on this, like you follow your heart even when food comes, like if you don't have a routine, or like,
Mm.
is it that you are at peace enough to hear yourself if it says go ahead or stop?
To a certain extent, yes. I see. Again, we live in a time where our brain is we're more on the intellect than the heart.
Yeah.
We're conditioned in such a way from a very young age.
Yeah.
So we always want the research factor.
Right.
I do my research. I'm not going to say I don't do my research. And then there's certain times I do the research and I say, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm just going to do what the heart says or what my stomach is saying
At that moment.
At that moment. Again, consistency is required, commitment is required.
Right.
If commitment is not there, or you don't have that strong inspiration to do it, it's not going to last for long. I see a lot of people around me smoke, and they say they won't give up smoking, and they give up smoking. 1 week, couple of months later, they're back on the.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. The number of just excuses or justifications just come out. It's not their time to do it. Simple as that.
Right.
Because internally it's not there 100%, but when there is 100% in anything you do,
You will do.
you will do it. You don't even have to do it. It just happens because it comes from inside. When you put a lot of effort, a lot of push into it, it's a struggle. But when inside it's 100% there,
Right.
no matter how bad the situation, you keep going on. Doesn't matter if it's your health, your relationship, your work. You say, okay, things are not working. I'm going to keep on going because I'm committed to this.
So is there a particular routine you're committed to? Like if I was to ask you, what is your first 1 hour routine?
Okay, my first 1 hour routine, so they call it the golden hour, some
Yes.
people call it. For me, it's very, very simple. I get up. There are occasions where I go straight to the mobile. Bad, Rohit, not good. So
As many high performers would say,
Yeah.
it's a bad habit. Yeah.
it is actually a very terrible habit. So I do my best in that 1 hour to avoid the phone.
Okay.
I might look at it for the time. Yeah, that's about it. Otherwise, for the first 1 hour, keep it aside. I'll wake up, go downstairs, have my glass of water, walk around in the grass, sit down, and I would just be grateful for what I have.
Hmm.
And being grateful is very tough when you're going through very difficult issues, or you have created the
Dealing with
difficult.
fires.
Yeah. So that's very difficult. Because no one from a young age has conditioned you to be grateful for everything you have in
Right.
life. I think it all starts when you're young. Condition the young ones to be grateful in the so-called tough situation, in the so-called wonderful situations.
Hmm.
So one of the first things which like I said, go down, have water, walk the garden. I'll sit down and I will just be grateful
So
for what I
is
have.
there an exercise you do for expressing your gratitude? Do you write down
I
3 or
used
5
to-
things you're grateful
So
for?
this is very interesting. You brought that up. I got into this thing of I would first write down 9 things which I'm grateful for.
Hmm.
Okay. Then I would recite, a certain prayer, and then I would do the Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. That's what I'll do.
Is it all while you're stationed at one place?
Not necessary.
You could be moving
I
around.
could be moving around as well,
Mm.
although I would recommend station in one place is better. So even if I'm cooking,
Okay.
I'll start doing that. I've stopped doing writing it down. I just now just sit. I just walk the garden while I'm making my oats.
Okay.
It's recently I got into a phase of writing, but then I started thinking it's too much programming, too much conditioned.
Okay.
It came to a point where I was saying to myself, you're just doing it, you know, as it's
Mechanical.
You have to be natural at it. So for me, I had to stop writing.
So you do it while on the go.
While on the go.
Okay.
So now while I'm talking,
but you do it. There's not a single day you don't do it.
There's no. So my routine doesn't just stop that 1 hour. Now, for example, I'm ever having a conversation with you, or I'm driving down. In the back of my mind, I'm very much connected to this Ho'oponopono. I do that. It's running.
Okay.
It's running. So things are clean for me.
And it definitely helps.
It certainly helps. I tend to get, the doctors have in the past said it's headaches, but its eyes are burning, and when the eyes are burning, you start feeling the pain all around, and you start thinking it's a headache. But I know it's the eyes. And in the past, I went to doctors who started saying this about a couple of years ago. It's migraines. They wanted me to go on to medicine. I didn't go into medicine. At the time, I was not doing Ho'oponopono. And I looked at alternatives. That's when I met Dr. Segu Ramesh. I started doing the solution. It assisted me. He's the one who told me, he said to me, Beta, start moving, even if you have to move 20 minutes. He's a doctor. So you got to get the endorphins moving. Just 20 minutes.
Right.
Just move a little bit. I know you understand it, but something is stopping from you doing it. So just walk slow if you have to do it. Just give it a go.
Okay.
I started doing it, and that's when I started getting to. That's when a couple of weeks later, I bought a bike and started riding a bicycle, and that's what I started doing. It had its effects.
And the first 1 hour, the way you do it, definitely has a bearing on your next 23 hours.
It helps.
Okay.
I don't think it's that 1 hour is it, because you have to make it a lifestyle.
Because you could fall out of that zone.
Yes. So you have to constantly go do it through and that's why the Ho'oponopono keeps on playing in the back of my mind.
Okay.
It's simple now. For example, in Dubai, when people are driving, they cut you. I had a habit of. I had my friend Arjun Nair, who I do a lot of work with as well. He goes to me, Rohit, you know what? I've realized something about you. You get so upset when these. Yeah, and he talks about in Buddhism, it's about cause and effect. Again, you're creating your reality. Next time this happens, how about just staying calm and saying something which will chill you out? Because they can't hear you scream and shout. Okay. I started to say, if it would happen, I started saying, God bless. And then I did Reiki. And even in Reiki, they talk about any incident which happens with you, it's a contract you've signed with the other person. Even you don't know it, but that's what you've done. And I was like, okay. And the whole thing about the God bless got even more. What I noticed, this was about 4 or 5 years ago, this all started. What I noticed, as soon as I started doing that, less of these incidences happened in my life. Less of it happens now. Now, I do that, or sometimes it's like, sometimes I'm really like on a, I'll say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, because I'm getting angry inside me.
And that's altering the environment around you.
And that alters it. So I need to do something about me. I need to do the transformation here. I'm not able to control outside. At least I can manage certain part of me, even if it's 15 bits of information going on, do the best to use it. I fall off the track. I have to go back on the track. So that 1 hour certainly helps.
Okay.
So most people say, I've done my 1 hour, it should be great. Load of all bollocks. You have to learn to go through the day doing that. Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you, you have to stay grounded. Whatever works for you. There's no, this is the only tool or that is to use a tool which you feel connected to,
Right.
you feel resonated to, wherever you can apply it.
So that's a morning routine or a morning tool
Yeah.
you do. Is there a night routine before you go to sleep?
Night routine is the main thing which I do is nights being thankful.
Again, basically, you start your day with gratitude, end your day with
End my
gratitude.
day with gratitude. It is, everything is a gratitude. So recently I was a client called me up saying, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. We can only give you half of the project. I was like, okay, and what's the reason why? What's the reason for not giving the full project? It was a female initiative program, and she said, look, the head office in Europe has called us and said, because it's a female initiative program, only a female has to lead it. They have to deliver the sessions, so we can't have a man leading it because a man doesn't understand how a woman goes through. At that particular point, I was like, you can feel it. And then I just said, there must be a reason. Thank you for this. At least I'm getting something. Yeah. And I say, thank you. I just went into a mode of thank you, and I calmed myself down. Internally, I calmed myself down. Now, the lady who I was talking to, she put her foot down with Europe saying, I want Rohit. You want to give the rest to anyone, any woman, you give it. But he is the one who's going to help them become better speakers, better presenters. It's not going to go to anyone. That's my only thing if you're going to make this happen. And they agreed on that. Because she's seen me in action. She's seen my videos. She's seen how I've taught the team in the past. So she feels most comfortable for me to do it. And she goes and sees all the big speakers and so forth.
Right. But she resonates with you.
But she resonates with me. So,
and I'm sure there's always something to be grateful for.
There is.
If you end your day with that thought, you send the right vibration out.
Look at it this way. We're in Dubai. I mean, I'm just talking about Dubai. We're in a very good position. We have a house over. We have a roof over our head. We get our water. We get our food. Okay, what are we crying about? Luxuries. The people who don't even get water during the day.
Yeah.
So we are truly, truly blessed.
And which people have a tendency not to know or not to notice or not to realize how blessed they are.
So consciously, if you want to use those 15 bits, how about using them for that? Yeah, use that power to say, be grateful for what you have.
Which you are. Yeah. Which one is?
Which, so I was I went to Afghanistan. I did a workshop over there. I was there I did a stint of about a month in and out. And on my last stint, when I was coming back to Dubai, I had a workshop with one of the big organizations over here. And there's a certain way I like my room to be set up. In one of the big hotels over here, one of the brands over here, I asked them, the room needs to be set up like this. And they refused to do it, saying that we don't have the resources. And I was so surprised. Because in Afghanistan, the company where I went to do these workshops, it's tough. In a war-torn zone, you're going there and you're going to do work in a cabin, one of those portable cabins. They arranged the best possible way for me to do my session, because I saw, okay, I can't do my normal setup. What's the best way? I asked them, and they said, yeah, we'll do it. Now, I was so surprised that these people were able to do it. While this particular brand had the resources, they refused to do it. Their excuse was, we don't have the resources. And I was like, I use you on a regular basis. Right. When did you stop having the resources? So, you look at Afghanistan where things are tough.
Right.
And you've got Dubai where you've literally got everything. Don't come with excuses, So initially I was getting a bit angry. This was a couple of years ago. I was not really doing Ho'oponopono. I didn't have the solution as well. I used to just say, I just said, calm down. I had to literally say to myself, calm down. They're living in a different world and you're coming from a different world. You can't do anything about it.
Okay.
So that's what happened in that particular incident.
I guess it's sometimes, we go to these places like Afghanistan, Bhutan, and all. People seem to be more happier, you know, than many times people in Dubai because everything's going on and you still don't realize it.
We don't realize how lucky we are to be in the place we are.
But tell me, do you believe in this dictum where it says everything's gonna work out? Like having this thought process that it's all gonna work out.
I
Because
follow.
when you say calm down would slow you. Like, calm down would make you relax right now.
Yeah.
But to move ahead, all right, you need a certain school of thought or a certain philosophy that makes you move ahead in spite of all the resistance or challenges you're going through. So do you have a philosophy that you live by that makes you move ahead?
Um, is it a philosophy? I don't know. I've had a lot of failures.
Hmm.
I'm very open about it. Most people in my profession will not be open about it. It's all the hoo ha 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 ha.
The perception.
And at the moment I'm going through certain failures. I'm still here.
Sure.
I could have said, no, Manish, I can't do it. I'm depressed. No.
Right.
I got up. I said, arrange the time. Let's do it.
Right.
It'll help someone out there. It'll serve someone out there. It helps me as well. It gets me moving.
Right.
Everything which we do or what we do happens for a reason. Sometimes we are unable to see that reason. It's only time tells us why that happened. And sometimes it takes quite a lot of time. There's this recent story I read about. I heard it. I can't remember where I heard it. Where there's this, in Africa, there's a king, and he has his best friend. And extremely like, oh, that's good. That's good. So one fine day, they are going for, they won't go for a hunt. And an incident happened where, because of the friend, the king's thumb got cut. And the king is really upset. And the friend looks at the hand and goes, that's good. King gets more upset, throws him into jail.
Right.
He's in jail. He's been there for God knows month or year. The king goes out on his usual spree of hunting, and at one particular incident, cannibals catch him, and they're getting him prepared for the meal. And then they notice the king's thumb is missing. They let him go, because in their culture they believe it has to be the whole body.
Right.
They can't eat them, and so they let him go. And the king was like, wow, thank God. He goes back, gets his friend out of jail. He said, guess what? Because of my thumb being cut, today my life was saved. Thank you. I understand what you mean. That's good. And he turns around and he says, oh, that's good. And he goes, what do you mean that's good? He goes, imagine if your thumb had not been cut off and I had been with you on this hunt.
Then I would have been
both of us would have been eaten up now.
Yeah.
So everything happens for a reason. We're unable to see it. So when you relate it back to things like Ho'oponopono or the solution or any kind of meditation, they all talk about that only. There's a reason why things happen. You create your reality, and the conscious mind is not able to see it, but the unconscious mind, because of all the data and the programming is going, it has to be cleaned up. So at least consciously be grateful. Even when I was talking to one of my mentors, and I asked him, what is that one thing, one thing you would like to tell, people who are in business or are in jobs or are trying to be, striving to be an entrepreneur? He said, be grateful, have gratitude. And all of this is about gratitude. Business fails, brands come down, things happen in life, relationships break. At that time,
and this will happen to everyone. Some or the other failure will happen to everyone.
And in those times, you can be grateful. it's a wonderful thing to be in that notion. Even in my personal life, if you look at with the family I am, um, my my closest and dearests, in the time of when they had no money, you know what? They were still very happy. They did not see happiness equated to money. They just saw stay happy. And now, if you look at the whole family, amazing. It's amazing.
It's all energy. It's
yeah,
all energy.
abundance. It's in abundance. Things will happen. We do feel down. We do feel so-called the word people. I'm feeling depressed. Yeah. Oh, I didn't get the iPhone X. Oh, I didn't get X and Y Z. Another phone will come.
No, that's a guaranteed way to be unhappy for the rest of your life.
It's all based on possession of material. There's materials which help us.
Right.
You know, like without this iPhone, without this mic, without this, it's difficult to do this podcast.
Right.
It's gonna and share our message.
But as a tool, instead of it being a star on my.
Absolutely, it's an attachment.
Yeah.
Now, for example, you spoke about being TEDx and doing doing the book. I don't use it as throwing it around. I'm this and this.
Right.
I'm just here to serve. This is what I've done. This is my credibility, my visibility. See if I can assist you. And there's a lot of times people don't want to work with me. And I'm like, okay. Energy is not working. Yes, you get upset because sometimes you feel like, I really want this, I really want this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen, you get upset. It happens. It's the attachment. So now even if you look at Buddhism.
So you say, in fact, in this that, you've learned a lot from Sikh gurus. So you mentioned the Sikh gurus.
The Sikh gurus, yeah. So the 10 gurus.
Yeah. Can you share what is your learning from? Because you said the book that you'd love to give the most is from the Sikh gurus.
Yeah, the Guru Granth Sahib.
Okay.
So if you look at it...
Like you read the whole...
I have read most of it, know.
And there's an English translation.
There's an English translation to it.
You remember the name of the book?
Guru Granth Sahib. The Guru Granth Sahib. In
English?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called the Guru Granth Sahib. So if you look at the Sikh faith, it's a very... Nowadays you see it related to the swords and everything, and then you've got the other part which is the langar, people going to Gurdwara being, or the temple being at the same level. But if you look at the root of it and how Guru Nanak Ji started it, all about compassion. And you see through all the 10 gurus, it's all about compassion. Okay? So you got that. You look at the other faiths around the world, you will see compassion coming through. Forget about faith. If you look at Nelson Mandela as a big example, he was behind bars for so many years.
27 years. Yeah.
He could have come out and he could have been a bitter man and gone to violence. Did he do that? There was that compassion in him which said, no, that's not going to work.
Like I loved it, the movie, alright, if you see the movie.
I haven't seen it, but I'm going to watch it.
Mandela. Yeah. There's such a beautiful scene. He comes out of the jail after 27 years, and he knows, he's been told his wife is provoking the blacks to kill the whites.
Yeah.
Goes to his wife, and it's so beautifully shown in the movie, alright? It's one of the best scenes I've ever seen. He tells her that, I love you, but you've gone a long way ahead on your path. I'll go on my path.
Yeah.
All right, but I wish you all the best. Nothing, no taunting, no judging. Walks away,
and that's what compassion allows you to do. You look at,
and that's what comes also from the Sikh guru.
You see that coming through that as well. You look at, for example, Martin Luther King. An amazing, of the works which I've read, and one of the interviews which I was listening to one of his relatives. Martin Luther King always used to say, forget all the bad which people have done to you. It's not worth it. Just on those lines he used to say, it's not worth it.
He was a bishop also, no?
Yeah. Then if you look at the histories, people more relate to these names nowadays, is Malcolm X. If you look at his story and the way he ended up,
he was also shot dead.
Yeah, but he started off on that violent streak, and suddenly what happened? They don't want to do anything with violence. They want something to be done peacefully, and they know it's possible. You look at any place in the world, any country, wherever there is tyranny, wherever there is, even if it's for 100, 200,000 of years, when it collapses, it really collapses really badly because the compassion is completely lost now. History has shown that again. Unfortunately, as humans, our evolution is not that great because we repeat the same things again and again.
Right.
When history has taught us so much and yet we're not able to do it. You look at what we're doing to the planet. In many ways, we're killing the planet, but in fact, we're killing the human race. We will die. Humans will, let's take an extreme example. Humans will completely die. The planet's still going to be here and it's going to grow and flourish again.
For billions of years.
So rather than saying save the planet, save humans, and that means to take care of your motherland.
So compassion got to be not only for people, for everything around.
Everything around you. Have compassion for everything around. It's not googly goog. It is kindness. It is care. That's what it is.
And I guess that's why your pillar content always has been, because you believe in it.
Yeah.
You stand for it, and that's you live by.
Yeah, I've seen it happen in my life. 2004, I was going through a terrible time, and I had a choice either to be bitter or look at life in a different way. And that's where the book, The Art of Happiness, just came out into my life. And that's when I knew the word compassion existed, but when I went through it, it spoke about people want to be happy, they want to have joy. And the sweetest emotion you can give yourself or anyone else is love. But until you don't have compassion, all of these things will not sustain for themselves. You have to start from that kind and careness side of things. That's all where it all started. In many ways, started from me on that point. Now, I'm not saying there are times I am bitter as well. I'm no saint.
But you bounce back faster.
I bounce back. I learn to bounce again and again and again. It's because there's a certain commitment I have for myself that this is the path I've taken. And I will stick to it.
Awesome. Rohit, awesome. Last two questions I want to ask you. It's been lovely. And to end it, what I want to ask you is, what would be a quote, if you could put a quote in the middle of Sheikh Zayed Road which everyone could watch? What would it be and why?
Okay, like I told you, there's so many quotes that inspire you. I wouldn't put anything up there. I really wouldn't. All I would say is, people, you got to seek your own truth.
So you might want to put seek your own truth.
Maybe, you could say that, seek your own truth. There's certain experiences that happen in your life which only you can understand. No matter how much I understand. No, it's you. It's happened to you. So it's your truth.
Right.
The way I look at it is, when we look at it is, let's say you like biryani and I like biryani. Biryani requires a certain number of ingredients in it. But it's not necessary the type of biryani and the type of ingredients you like in it, I will like the same as well. So that's your own unique truth and my own unique truth of what's happening. But at the end of the day, it's up to me to decide what's going to go into my biryani. You may like a lot of chilies and I don't like chilies. I'm a vegetarian. Okay, you've converted, you're a vegetarian now. So it's a different thing. So you have to, for me, it's, I would say is,
seek your own truth.
Seek your own truth. You will see people blasting across their philosophies and their concepts and all that. There's absolutely everything great to listen to them, but if it doesn't resonate with you,
move on.
You will only learn something. You will learn, it doesn't work for me, I'll find something which will work for me, or something which will just happen. You go through the centuries and everything, even now, it's the same thing being repeated,
just packaged differently.
Now,
nothing's changed. Human beings are still the same.
Yeah. We still have wars. We still have famine. We're still killing each other.
We still have emotions. We still have people to take care of.
Yeah. So it just happens again and again. Now, some of these people take this packaging and monetize on it. Some people look at it using to serve others, and they think and they believe and they feel that by serving, that's where they will get the most out of things. While others have a different path of materialism.
To each its own.
Yeah. Each to its own.
But so when you say seek, it means is be open to, like, you got to be a little evolved in a way to seek instead of just fitting into society and just going along with it without.
See, so society exists
So
there for some reason.
why, what I'm asking you is that when you say seek the truth, are you trying to say experience, be open to
Yes,
experiences?
be open to experience. If you define something as a bad experience, okay, it's a bad experience. For you, it is. Maybe for another person, it's not.
Hmm.
That's your truth you've said. But through the years, you may realize that was not a bad experience. It was the greatest learning you've ever had. And wow, thank you for that. It evolves, it develops into something else. Now, again, with so much uh, information is bombarded, especially with social media, everything at such a fast rate. There's too much things happening that we don't have a time to sit alone. People don't like to be alone.
Hmm.
They think being alone is being lonely. No, it's
No,
not.
absolutely not.
But people are scared. Pick up the phone, look at it, do this, do that, watch TV, what that. People find it to sit for 30 seconds, just sit. Thoughts will still keep on going on. You look in the business sense is that it's all about, okay, business is all about developing that money, creating that money. For me, business is, I do agree, money you doing. For me, it's more of a serving.
You balance both in a way.
There are times, I'm also learning commercially on things now. I say, no, I'm not going to do this because I've got family members to feed. I've got certain initiatives I do for community which come through the business. If I start saying to business where, which it doesn't equate to a good commercial sense, I've learned and I'm getting better at it saying there's a fee associated to it.
But all this also is through your seeking of the truth, what will balance out. But be willing to move.
Yes, move. You're a
like
river.
That's why I love Bruce Lee. Yeah,
yes.
Be water, my friend.
Exactly. You almost look like Bruce Lee.
Me, a bald Bruce Lee. Okay, so Rohit, which would be a book you would love to recommend the most? If the readers were to, get a taste of what you're saying, which one would you recommend?
Okay, so there's a couple of books which I would recommend which have assisted me. Mm-hmm. The one which I looked at is the Solution. It's called The Awakening. It's by Dr. Segu Ramesh. Wonderful book. It has a practical exercise on how you get yourself grounded.
Okay.
How you get your intentions out there. That's one book. Another book which I find very interesting is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways by Dr. Susan Jeffers. An amazing book which breaks away from a lot of the other stuff which you see on so-called self-help. She's now talking about, and she wrote this stuff where people would not, at that time when people were not really into looking at vibrations and energies and your higher existence. And she's a doctor as well. I'm talking about two doctors writing stuff. The reason I'm recommending these books is because, firstly, they have definitely served me. Secondly, people are conditioned to look at intellect people. So you've got two doctors.
So the context is there for them to listen to.
Hey, why is a doctor saying this?
Yeah. So Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways, and The Awakening.
Yeah. So the other
Awakening by Dr. Segu Ramesh, and Feel the Fear
is Dr. Susan Jeffers. Those are the two main books which I would strongly recommend. There's another book which is Happiness Now. Robert Holden. I think he's a doctor as well. I'm not quite sure.
So you clearly read books written by doctors.
The reason why I read is because I find it very strange because most of the doctors out there, many of the doctors, I won't say most, many doctors tend to say it's all wishy-washy, cock and bull. Now you've got these doctors who've got years of experience who's saying this to me. It's like, where are they coming from? And I tend to read, I used to read management books. I've literally stopped doing that. I read more on spirituality or quantum physics kind of things on those bases. That's what I tend to read or watch videos on that. Because they make it it's very interesting how they say it, because then you go to...
No, they come from a different place. It's not a helicopter view.
Yeah. They just go into the deepness of it. Start from here, right? So it's bird's eye view, and then slowly take you. And you're like, where the hell am I now?
Like, I'm reading Joe Dispenza doing Supernatural. He's phenomenal.
Look at him.
Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, they're fantastic. Quantum physics, spirituality, they're phenomenal.
And look at them when they're doing them, when all the exercise they do is based on meditation.
Yeah. I did Joe Dispenza's meditation in Bonn. He recently did an online seminar for 60 euros, but it was fantastic. But yes, I love listening to him because he's so scientific about that. And that's what you like too, I guess. Yeah, so there's a lot of sharing we can do on that.
So the reason why I do that is because when some people turn around and say, this is gobbledygook, I say, hold on a minute. I know there's a knowing inside me. But because you are the under individual, and like you, I have been also conditioned, but only to realize this conditioning messes you up as well. Here are some doctors.
Listen to them.
Listen to them.
I'm nobody. I'm just a messenger.
Yeah?
Super.
That's it.
Super. And any documentary movie you'd love to recommend? That has touched you?
You see, there's some videos of Dr. Hewlin on YouTube. Go out there and search for him.
Hewlin. Hewlin.
L-E-N.
L-E-N. Hewlin.
I can't pronounce his first name. It's Hakalaka Hewlin.
So, but if people write Hewlin, Hewlen,
they'll see. You'll listen to him and sometimes you say, he's a doctor, really? Because people say to him something, he says, clean your trash. That's literally what he says, clean your trash. And go, yeah. Did you know it was raining there yesterday? And he didn't answer my question. So, but when you start listening to more of his videos, you start realizing, now I see what he's doing. He's assisting you to clean your BS. That's what he's doing.
I'm going to listen to him today, man. I'm going to listen.
I mean, if you read about his story, it's claimed that he helped heal a psychiatric ward who were hardened criminals. A lot of them were released from that ward and moved into other wards, or were also released into life. Now, some people say that it's a lie. That story is a lie. But then there are other records which show, yes, it's true. Yeah. I don't know.
Joe Dispenza is doing it now. Yeah.
Yeah. So come on, you go to the Far East, India. You hear these incidences happening where people have helped. There's so much out there which can assist us. I'm not talking about business. I'm talking about as a life as a whole. People make, work, business. But that's a part of life.
Not life.
It's not life. It's a part of life. You've got family. You've got friends. You've got hobbies. You may not be an extrovert. So what? But you still can make your own life beautiful with what you have.
Seek the truth.
Seek the truth. Seek your truth.
So Rohit, it's been fantastic, to have you for the podcast. It's been phenomenal. I've learned so much, and I definitely, look forward to have this association, this friendship going. And I wish you I wish you the best.
Thank you.
That life has to offer. And if people want to reach you, where do you think they can connect with you? So
they can connect me through my email, which is roi@roitalks.com. There is my website, which is roitalks.com. Over there you'll see my YouTube links, Instagram. I can give them my phone number as well.
I will put it up on the show notes when I put up the podcast.
So you can give that as well. So,
sure. And on Instagram, what's your handle?
Instagram is roitalks.com. I'm not ROI Talks. Basically, that's what it is. I'm not a Facebook fan.
Okay.
Now,
but on LinkedIn.
In LinkedIn, you'll see. You just look for Rohit Rohit Bassi. You'll see me. There's only one existing over there with that.
I'm sure.
There. My YouTube, you'll see it says I am in learning one. that was my old branding in learning.
Okay.
So that's why people will see slight difference over there. Having because it already had certain number of followers and a lot of videos.
So you've kept it.
I've just kept it. That's it. There is a time where I'm going to convert it because YouTube does allow you to change the name.
Okay.
It's going to happen maybe this coming year or
so. In learning, in YouTube, ROI Talks on Insta.
Everywhere else
LinkedIn is Rohit ROI Bassi. So guys, that's from Rohit. All right, and we signing out. Wishing you a fantastic day ahead. Okay, go and kick ass out of your 24/7. All right, guys. Rohit, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Truly appreciate it.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks.